You will never create a new reality if you continue to live in a state of lack. You are constantly thinking about what you lack. Lack of resources, lack of popularity, lack of money, lack of connections, lack of spirituality, knowledge, and so on. This eternal state of lack is the main reason why you are not creating a new reality and nothing in your life is changing. By living from this state, you are actually creating this very lack. By focusing on lack, you multiply this lack, trying to hold on to it. You have constant fear, constant anxiety. And in this video, I will tell you what to finally do about it. Let's start from the very beginning. What is a state of lack or a state of deficit? It is not the absence or lack of resources as such, like money, relationships, or anything else. It is not about the external, but primarily about the internal. And when we don't even understand what lack is, we focus, for example, on the lack of money, right? And for some reason, we think that by getting money, then finally we will be calm and we will be happy. In fact, this is one big illusion that is also imposed on us. And here the main task is, first of all, to understand that it is about the state within, a state of peace, and a state of sufficiency. And when you truly understand that it is not really about the external, but rather about the internal, you begin to work on the actual root cause. Yes, it may seem like not a very pleasant prospect because the external world can be touched, it can be counted, and it is a much more pleasant and reassuring support for our brain. But in fact, the reason always lies within. I have met many wealthy people who are constantly striving for some new financial success, but inside they still do not feel a state of peace and a state of happiness. And this becomes the cause of big internal problems, which of course sooner or later spill out. Therefore, guys, first of all, we work precisely on the internal. And when you understand that you need to work on this, that this is primary, your healing begins. Here it is necessary to add how lack in general, in principle, this internal state of deficit affects your life as well. First of all, we have already understood that this is the reason. But it is important to flesh this out with meaning and understand the big picture, because if you don't understand it, nothing will change. And the most important thing is that you start living from a state of mind. You start rationalizing everything because you start living with fears, you start living with risks, and you start living with losses. In that case, you will only try to hold on, only to accumulate, and you will make decisions only from your head. Often, decisions made only from the head don't align with our inner desires, don't align with our inner state, and don't bring you a sense of true happiness. And most importantly, it may seem at the level of the head that, no, Ada, this will bring me peace because I will feel comfortable. Try it just for interest. 100% there were things that you have already achieved from this state, but for some reason the problem was not solved. It is enough even to look at your own experience. Therefore, this argument should be enough to finally start working on the causes. So by this point, you have understood that the state of abundance and sufficiency begins precisely from within and not from without. And now you understand what the consequences of this are, right? Then let's still return to the most important thing, how to work and how to create this state. I recommend that you do not rush because this is spiritual work and it takes a certain amount of time. Of course, living in a state of abundance will be better for spiritual people, the spiritually developed, because they understand that they live in the world of God, and in the world of God, everything is abundant and there are no restrictions. If you are a rationalist, of course, it will be more difficult for you with this. I can give everyone one simple piece of advice or a recommendation. At least start slowly, in principle, to track from what state I am now making a decision. From a state of fear, from a state of deficit, or from an internal real desire, from internal abundance, when you know that what is yours will not leave you. It seems like one small detail, but try it. If you really start to pay attention to this small detail, then you will notice that your life will begin to change. Your life will start to change. Step by step, slowly, you will begin to understand that it is difficult to manipulate you. Marketing and even your mind will not deceive you, and you will begin to understand that you are no longer as anxious as before. You're not as afraid as you used to be, and at some point, you'll notice that a sense of peace and abundance is growing within you, and that can be considered a major victory in such an uncertain world. See you again soon.